What in the world could that be? That's probably the most shocking, crazy thing that any inhabitant of Tamriel has ever seen in their life. What is that? Hello everyone, and welcome back to Nightwind Archer. I hope you've been enjoying the Let's Play so far, or RP. Let's continue where we left off last time, and we had just talked to the Queen and found out that we need to... Actually, there she is right there. We need to go over to Tamriel because I think there's some kind of ritual that she needs to do. I don't know exactly what this ritual is that she needs to do, but for some reason it's important to her and it's important that she does it. Not really sure why, but let's go ahead and do that. But she did also say to take your time as you do that. You don't have to do it immediately or right away. So actually, I am going to go up this direction towards this quest marker, but along the way, I might do a few quests, like say, for example, this Dell's Claim quest, or maybe complete this dolmen. And I won't show probably every dolmen I find, but I'm gonna continue up that direction and find what I find and see what I see. Also, there's a sky shard right here in front of me. I'm gonna collect that, and then once that's collected, I'm gonna head up and start adventuring through Auridon. Really looking forward to it. So let's do that. Here we are. Here's the sky shard. That sky shard will give me a third of a skill point. And from here, we can start adventuring. So let's go. There's the history of the Fighters Guild there. That might be fun, but let's go ahead and make our way to this Dell's Claim location. I'm sure that will be interesting to see what's going on there. And by the way, just look at all these beautiful, like, trees. Like, look at this tree. It's just like floating down flowers, like beautiful little white petals. And it just... No wonder, you know, Auridon is a very beautiful isle. I can see why the High Elves are protective of it, but, you know, that doesn't mean they've got to be racist, which apparently they have been. All right, so anyway, here is Dell's Claim, and it looks like it's actually below me. I went a different way than probably the game expected me to. Here we are, here at Dell's Claim. Now apparently just outside Dell's Claim there is the History of the Fighters Guild Part 2, but I don't want to read that because Part 1 is right over here. So we'll kind of, you know, make sure we get them in order. I don't want to read Part 2 before I read Part 1. So let's see what's going on in Dell's Claim, if there's anything of interest going on in this delve. Okay, so it appears to be maybe a mine. We've got a pickaxe, so this is a mine, and there's a cart right there, mine cart. So that appears to be what's going on in this little area here. Our dupes, the Sea Elves. Oh no, we've got more news on the Sea Elves, guys. This is the perfect introduction to Auridon, picking up on some of the lore from back when we were in Khenarthi's Roost. My loyal subjects, our negotiation with the Sea Elves is complete. Oh gosh, they're making negotiations. They foolishly believe themselves our equals, that the rightful rulers of Tamriel would share power with mere fishfolk. Fools. It is vital that you continue to pretend in their presence. We have them set on foolish attacks into Auridon. They can't... Oh, crap. Let's try this again. I'm getting attacked by Heritance Spellbinders. So this is the Veiled Heritance. These are the High Elf supremacists here in this area. So it looks like they're talking about the Sea Elves. And where was I? They foolishly believe themselves are equals, that the rightful rulers of Tamriel, that's how they see themselves, would share power with mere fisher folk, fools. It is vital that you continue the pretense in their presence. We have them set on foolish attacks into Auradon. They can't possibly hold the beacons, but their attacks will result in death, destruction, and disruption. They can't possibly hold the beacons? Chaos we can use against the false queen. Our plans are in motion, the veiled queen. Okay, so there's a veiled heritance queen as well, and she's in charge of this, and it looks like they actually are inviting the Sea Elves to Auradon's coast to undermine the Aldmeri Dominion Queen. So that's interesting. You know, they're so protective of their isle, but they're so ready to invite the Sea Elves into their precious little island to cause who knows what havoc, just in spite of the Aldmeri Dominion Queen. So it seems that they don't... they're not that protective of it if they're willing to let the Sea Elves come and do what damage they might do. Okay, and it looks like there should be a quest right here. Look at this. They're growing mushrooms, or that's just natural. I don't know. Let's see. Let's get up here. All right, so we've got a bloody journal from some poor folk that is... Yeah, he's not looking too good. Mother, I don't know if you'll read this. I should never have left Matthiasen. The veiled heritance isn't the honorable cause I thought it was. Some of them are real patriots, but most are just brutes. I can't do this anymore. We're going to Dell's Claim tonight, the old mine near South Beacon. They're going to kill the miners. I can't let them do that, can I? I have to stop them, somehow. I love you, Mother. Always know I love you. Veraldur. Okay, so he joined the Veiled Heritance and thinking that they were a good cause, and then found out that they're really not a good cause at all. Is this person dead in their bed? How does that happen? Well, that's a miner. Okay, so that's probably a miner that was killed. Yeah, the Veiled Heritance just came in and killed these miners that were doing a job down here. I don't really know why the Veiled Heritance is interested in this mine. That hasn't really been discussed yet. But it appears in order for me to find out more of what's going on here, I need to go to Matthiasen. Matthiasen is a town. Where's the town? There it is. Right there. I'm having trouble with my... Okay, it's right here. You know what? I think I'm going to turn off all these lore books. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep the lore books on there. It does crowd out my screen with a bunch of books, but you know, it's okay. I do want to know where the lore books are, so... All right, let's just continue on. It appears that there's going to be a big boss down here in this direction. It appears that I have found a missive or some sort of lore book here. My loyal subjects, I hereby order the Veiled Heritance to enter the mines of Dell's Claim. Okay, finally, we get some reason why they're here. Kill any Mer that you find inside the mine, and then strike out at the Queen's forces from your new place of safety. Our time draws near, the Veiled Queen. So it appears that this is really just a strategic location that's just north of Volkogard, and that's the only reason they're here, is because, I mean, they're in this mine right here, and you can see that it is really close to Volkogard, and they just like having some little hangout spot that they can stay really close to the Queen so that they can attack. So it's really just a strategic location. It looks like I've found the boss, the big boss of these guys.
Who's there? I was just getting to the good part.
I think I got him. Boom. That was perfect. You even got a lead. Aether Quartz Prayer Beads. looks like I just beat the boss here that was stationed to take, to be in control of these guards. So I'm going to continue on through this delve, and I am going to pick up any other lore books I see, and I'm going to pick up that Sky Shard, and then we're going to head out of here. All right, I just exited out of Del's claim, and it turns out that the reason that these people are here is only because it's a strategic location to be here right in front of Volkogard. So that's kind of the area. We do hear this anchor dropping. What on earth could that be? The sound of chains. It appears there's some kind of chain anchoring to the sky. What in the world could that be? That's probably the most shocking, crazy thing that any inhabitant of Tamriel has ever seen in their life. What is that? That is just ominous and scary looking. It's anchored from the sky into the ground. That is just absolutely gorgeous and amazing. And like bombs are coming out of it from another realm. Holy crap. Tamriel is being invaded by a Daedric prince. Wow. We need to help out. All right, let's go. We gotta put a stop to this if we can. Got him. Here. Okay, we've got to put these anchor pinions. If we destroy their energy source, the anchor might be destroyed. Let's collapse these pinions.
Submit and become mine. Fight and be destroyed.
Who is that? Oh, attack. Get him.
The Daedra, the anchors, you destroy them in vain.
Oh, there it goes. I think we've destroyed it. All right, it's gone. Finally, I think we can be satisfied that we ran them away. Oh, that was terrible. Finally. Although it does appear there's a few victims. This one looks like he was burned alive. Poor guy. It looks like there is this History of the Fighters Guild Part 1. So if you're interested in the history of the Fighters Guild and where they came from, this would be a good book to read. So let's go ahead and see what this is all about. And it's not very many pages, it's very quick. So in the 283rd year of the Second Era, potentate Versidu Shai was faced with a disintegrating empire. The vassal kingdoms throughout Tamriel had reached a new height of rebellion, openly challenging his rule. They refused his taxes and led sorties against the imperial garrisons throughout the land. At the destruction of his fortress in Dawnstar, he gathered the imperial council in what would be called the Council of Bardmont, after the town south of Dawnstar where they met. There the potentate declared Catholic and universal martial law. The princes of Tamriel would dissolve their armies or face his wrath. The next 37 years were perhaps the bloodiest in the violent history of Tamriel. In order to crush the last of the royal armies, Verzedu-Shai had to sacrifice many of his best legions, as well as spend nearly every last piece of gold in the imperial treasury. But he accomplished the unthinkable. For the first time in history, there was but one army in the land, and it was his own. The problems that immediately surfaced were almost as staggering as the triumph itself. The potentate had impoverished the land by his war, for the vanquished kingdoms had also spent the last of their gold in defense. Farmers and merchants alike had their livelihood ruined. Before, the princes of Tamriel would not pay his taxes. Now they could not. The only persons who benefited from the war were criminals, who preyed upon the ruins of the lawless land, without fear of arrest now that all the local guards and militia were gone. It was a crisis the Akaviri had seen coming long before he destroyed the last of his subjects' armies, but for which he had no solution. He could not allow his vassals their own armies again, but the land was deeper into the stew of anarchy than it had ever been before. His army sought to fight the rise of crime, but a central authority was no threat against the local underworld. In the dawn of the year 320, a kinsman of Verzedu-Shai, Denarius Ves, the Iron, presented himself with a host of companies before the potentate. It was he who suggested an order of mercantile warriors for hire, who could be hired by nobility in lieu of a standing army. The employment would be temporary, and a percentage of their fees would go to the potentate's government, thus putting salve on two of Verzedu-Shai's greatest pains. Though it was then called the Sifim, after the Sessi word for soldiers, the organization that was to be known as the Fighters Guild had been born. Wow. Well, there you go. In summary, the Fighters Guild was created out of a need to mend a very broken kingdom after a war where the underworld was just thriving under the rule of this king that was a little haphazard in his methods and was not able to assuage the achings of the land. So that is where the Fighters Guild comes from. Very interesting. Let's go ahead and pick up this way shrine really quick, and then we'll head on to the next place. Alright, so I just picked up this way shrine, and there was something I wanted to tell you guys. You remember how a few episodes ago I said I really did not like being bogged down with quests, that I have too many quests going on at one time? Well, I'm going to follow through with that. I just picked up this quest called Repentant Son, and I need to go to Matthiasen, so I'm going to do this in order. I'm not going to continue picking up quests to the point where I have like 5 quests, 6, 7, and then all of a sudden I'm overwhelmed with quests. Not going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Matthiasen and turn this in, and then I'm going to go to Tanzelwil. Eventually we'll get to the main quest. If you really want me to do the main quest, let me know in the comments, and I will put everything else on pause, and we will do that main quest. Right now, I'm kind of just exploring. I am happy to do the main quest, though, if that's what you guys would like. All right, let's go to Matthiasen and speak to the person, whoever, maybe the family member or something, of the person that was we found in Dell's claim. This person we found in Dell's claim, you know, he wanted to do good things. He wanted to be somebody that, you know, did good in the world, and unfortunately, he just signed up with the wrong crowd. He thought he was, you know, the Veiled Heritance might have been a good cause, but he was wrong. They were just a bunch of brutes, and you would think for him to be attracted to you know, that cult in the beginning, he must have at least known that they were high elf supremacists, right? I mean, he wouldn't have signed up to this he wouldn't have signed up to this guild if he hadn't at least known the primary goal of the you know, of the Veiled Heritance is, at least if he didn't know how bad they really were, he must have at least known that, you know, they plan to get rid of the other people. So in this area. So, you know, I don't see him being like fully forgiven of what he had done, but, you know, at least he didn't think they were killers and murderers. I think that's the point. So, anyway, I'm going to just fast forward to the point where I get to Mathiasen. Okay, here I am. I kind of got to Mathiasen in a little bit of a weird way. There's a bridge over here, and this is probably the way I should have come. I kind of came through a weird direction, but it looks like I need to find somebody that knew Mathiasen, so let's ask around.
The finest weapons in all the Dominion, forged right here in Mathiasen. Hot off the anvil, if you will.
Ah, well, I'm looking for anyone that happens to know Veraldor.
Sure, I know Varador. Why, his mother's just over there by the targets.
Ah, I see. Okay, thank you. She looks like she's looking off into the distance in deep thought. This is not going to be good.
I'm sorry, but I don't really feel like talking. I've been trying to find a quiet minute all day. I need to pray for my son. He's missing, you see.
I'm very sorry, but I did come across your son and he's dead. I found this journal near his body.
He's what? No! Let me see that! I told him not to join those fools. Why didn't he listen? He figured out the truth for himself in the end. I can be proud of my boy. That's not enough, but it'll have to do.
I'm very sorry. Wow, tragic. So there you go. His mother told him not to join the Veiled Heritance, but, you know, young and foolish, not knowing what he's really doing, and he paid the ultimate price for it, unfortunately. That's terrible. Okay, well, that very sad quest is complete. I think we should make our way over to this place now. Let's go ahead and just fast travel there and see what's going on in that area. Okay, it looks like we have made it to the Queen's entourage. We can see that they are kind of piled up here. They've got carts, and they're kind of got, you can tell this is definitely the Queen's entourage with all the supplies and the big group of people that are transporting things for the Queen in this area. So I need to talk to him and see how things are going. But before I do that, I think that'll be the end of this episode. It's been the general amount of time I spend on episodes. I hope you enjoyed it. There was some really good things we learned in this episode. Number one, that the Veiled Heritance is, you know, well, they were camping in this Dell's Claim area, as it was so close to Velkogard. We also were able to find an unfortunate person in Dell's Claim that had passed away just mistakenly, thinking the Veiled Heritance might have been a good organization. He then realized that they're actually just murderers, killers, and racists. I don't know the extent to how much he really understood the Veiled Heritance and its goals, but I guess we should just give him the benefit of the doubt. We then let his mother know that he had passed away, and it was just terrible. And then in addition, we also experienced our very first dark anchor coming from the sky, an omen to the invasion of Tamriel from the Daedric god Moloch Baal. So that is more to come, more interesting and fantastic quests to come. I hope you're enjoying it, because I certainly am. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.